Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bedtime with Tomi. This evening we'll be reading chapter 32, Clara. Ballet was Clara's sanctuary. She breathed deeply, gripping the back of the chair, slowly extending her right foot out to the side for a tendu. It was a simple movement that she'd been able to do since she was 5, but now, as she worked toward rebuilding all the tiny intrinsic muscles, it felt foreign. Her body needed to relearn the most basic steps. Some people might have found it frustrating, but Clara tried to look at it as a victory. Every plie, tendu, battement, and other basic ballet bar movement brought her one step closer to returning to the stage. Not having a clear deadline to marking when she needed to return to full strength lifted a huge weight off her shoulders. She could take time to listen to her body, not forcing it to do more than it was capable of. All of her injuries had a chance to heal. When I return, I'll be stronger than when I left. The muscles in the arch of her foot began to cramp. She turned the chair and sat down, rubbing her hands over the stiff spot. The skin was soft and tender. Today's plan? Take as many breaks as needed to get through at least dégagés and rond de jambes standing. Then I could start on some floor exercises. By the time I finish, Amanda should be back, and we can have lunch together. Picking her phone from the bedside table, Clara checked her text messages. "Honey, I'm home," Amanda called out from the kitchen. That was fast. Amanda shrugged and poked her head inside the doorway of the guest room Clara was using. "Barbecue Shack just opened for the day." Her friend looked at her closely. "You're frowning. What's up?" "Oh, same as yesterday." Clara tossed her phone onto the bed and huffed. "My roommates at our complex is swarming with media. There are more people camping out today than yesterday. Do they need a place to go? If you don't mind, they can crash here, or I can call in a few favors from some of my coworkers at the airline." "No, they said they were fine. Actually, I think they both secretly like the attention," Clara said, rubbing the back of her neck. "They're gonna pack up some of my stuff for me, and I'll take a car over to pick up from one of their boyfriend's places." "Nope, you aren't going anywhere, see?" Amanda crossed her arms. "Tell them I'll pick it up." Clara stared at the ground. "I can't do that. I've already caused you enough trouble." "It's not trouble, really. You're doing me a favor by house-sitting the place. I've never been home that often." "Still, I'm taking up your spare room. See, have you taken a good look at what's actually in here?" Clara lifted her chin. She noticed Amanda's spare uniforms, 5 or 6 pieces of oversized rolling luggage, a stack of shoeboxes, and department store bags stacked against the far wall of the room near the closet. She'd resisted the urge to see what her friend kept inside there. It felt like an invasion of privacy. No. As if to prove a point, Amanda walked over to the closet and opened it. The life-size cardboard cutout of Eddie and some boxes came tumbling out. "It's all stuff that won't fit in my bedroom closet. The room is literally a dumping ground. The only reason I even have a 2-bedroom place is because Mom and Dad wanted to be able to crash here if you ever had a flight to pilot out of LAX. But that's never happened. So quit feeling guilty." Amanda picked up some of the items off the ground and tossed them back into the closet. "If you're feeling up to it later, Mom's asked if you could call her. Just a heads up. She's gonna suggest you let her and Dad pay off some of the remaining portion of your lease and move in with me." Clara blanched. "I can't do that." "That's why I'm warning you. If you decide to argue with Mom, you'll have to have some convincing points." Clara sighed. "Thanks for the heads up." Amanda held her body against the door and shoved it closed. "I forgot this was in here." She hugged the cutout of Eddie to her chest. "I'm putting you in my closet." Eddie would die if he saw that. "Anyway, I picked up a grilled chicken salad for you, a bacon cheeseburger and fries for me, and chocolate malt we can spread later. Do you want to eat it now or later?" "It's fine. I'm at a good stopping point." They both glanced at her swollen foot. "Do you want me to fill the trash bin with ice so you can soak it while you eat? Please and thank you." "Oh, before I forget, this arrived for you too." Amanda disappeared for a moment, then returned with a shoebox-sized package. "What did you order? Looks like whatever it is shipped overnight from Europe." "I didn't order anything, but let's see." She turned the package over in her hands. "Weird. There's no return address." Gently she took the box. It was well packaged, whatever was inside. "You don't think it's hate mail or anything?" doubt it? No one except my parents and one other person knows you're here. Curiosity got the better of her. They moved into the living room while the light was better and there was more space. Carefully, Clara opened the package while Amanda took it and the fake Eddie to her room. Hurry up. The anticipation's killing me, Smalls. Amanda reached for the contents of the box. Clara pulled it out of her reach. Play nice, or I won't share what's inside with you, she said playfully. Another box was within the box, and 2 dust bags covered what Clara assumed to be a pair of shoes. There was no note, but inside lay a simple pink ballet flat street shoe. Why would someone go to the trouble of sending her a single shoe? She held it up for a closer inspection. It was light and made from high-end leather. Etched into the material were delicate, intricately stitched designs of a flower, a spinning wheel, and a castle. It's the story of the Sleeping Beauty, she said. Slipping on the shoe onto her good foot, she found it fit like a glove. She knew David had made this for her. Clara was at a loss for words. She took the shoe off, hugged it to her chest, and cried. Her body shook as the salty tears ran down her face. She thought about just how much care and love for David had put into making a shoe just for her. She could almost smell the woodsy scent of his cologne. She remembered the way his eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled, the way his voice was a soothing melody that could calm her restless heart. She thought about how firm his arms were when they held her in a warm embrace, and the way his lips brushed against hers when they kissed a few weeks ago. As Clara sat there, she realized that it wasn't just longing or a sense of loss she felt. It was a reminder that she loved David. She'd been so determined to prove a point during their last argument that she'd completely missed the mark of why he'd wanted to protect her. He loved her. And now, she realized just how deeply she cared for him. They both had made mistakes. She was determined to make things right. She wasn't going to waste another moment separated from him. She needed David in her life. She had to call him. Her phone was still on the bed in the other room. As she stood up from the couch to retrieve it, however, she realized that Amanda was no longer in the room. Instead, standing in the doorway in a navy blue suit, white dress shirt, and glasses, stood the man she'd longed to see. David, she whispered. Cheers, Claire Bear, he smiled at her. They closed the distance between one another, and a moment later she was in his arms again. She buried her face in his jacket. She soaked in his scent of sandalwood and cinnamon. I've missed you so much, David. I'm sorry I was so upset with you, she said into his jacket. I'm sorry too. Will you accept this humble shoemaker back into your life? David's tone was teasing. 1,000 times yes, as long as you'll take me as I am. Forever and always, I love you so much, and I love you. Clara's breath quickened. Her eyes met David's. She was drawn in by the crystal clarity of his blue orbs, and they leaned towards one another. Her arms reached up and encircled his neck. The shoe he'd been holding fell to the floor with a clatter. Their lips met and they kissed with an urgency. It was as if a rainstorm were pounding down the stretch of desert after months of dry, searing heat. David ran his hands through her hair and pulled her in closely to him. When they broke apart, they both breathed heavily. The media has it all wrong. She walked her hands up his tie and loosened it. What's that? They call you the boring royal, but a much better nickname for you would be a passionate royal. His body shook with laughter. Passionate, you say? That's what I'm sticking to. Clara's eyelids fluttered. But I may need some evidence before I'm fully convinced. She tugged on his tie. As my lady wishes. David blinked slowly, planting a slow trail of kisses on her jaw. My beautiful, talented, sweet, darling Claire Bear. They kissed a second time, slower and more intimate than before. A short while later, Clara sat on the couch, mutely following his directions. Let's see if this fits. He knelt down on his knees and slipped the shoe onto her good foot. The supple leather glided into place and fit around her hard-built calluses like a glass slipper. There's only one foot this was made for, and that's yours. For anyone else, yes. For you, though? Sorry, I thought it took you weeks to make shoes. For anyone else, yes. For you, though, I spent every spare moment I could working on these because I missed you. I wanted you to have a single, small piece of me with you. She lifted her leg, admiring the shoe. David, this is probably the most heartfelt thing anyone's ever done for me. David remained kneeling and cleared his throat. From an internal pocket in his jacket, he removed the matching shoe, holding it in front of him. Claire Bear, we may not have had the most romantic beginning together, but having spent 3 of the most glorious weeks with you in London, I know you are the woman who is meant to be my partner in life. I'm not asking you to marry me yet, but I am offering this shoe to you as a token of my love. I promise that I will do everything in my power to be a worthy man of you, and hope that time will bring us closer to one another and deepen the love we share. What do you say? Can we start this dating thing over again? Clara's eyes widened. Her heart raced. I don't want to start over. I want us to continue building on what we have. Everything happens for a reason. Making mistakes and learning from our differences is the only way we'll be able to continue to keep growing and discovering more about one another. She licked her lips. I love you so much, and I know that time is only going to strengthen our bond. I hope you won't get sick of me, because this ballerina isn't going anywhere anytime soon. She laughed to herself. David smiled wildly. He slipped the second shoe on her other foot. Now hurry up and kiss me again, she said. David didn't need to be told twice. As they kissed once more, the two remained blissfully ignorant of the world around them. Like all fairy tales, Clara had found her happily ever after. So that is it, except for the epilogue of Dancing with the Royal. We are at the end of the book, almost, believe it or not. So the epilogue will be in the next video. But I hope you enjoyed that in this story, the final grand gesture was David making shoes. I thought it would be something more unique when I wrote the book. The original version of Dancing with the Royal had him proposing to her at the gala scene, charity gala. But when I revised it, I knew that proposals in Insta-Love was not something, I mean, it's still an Insta-Love story, but it was something that had happened too quickly, and I knew I wanted to adjust the story. So now he has a magical shoe. Well, you know what I mean. It's not really magical, but it is magical in the sense that he made it from scratch just for her. It is just like Cinderella, but you know, Sleeping Beauty is the theme of this story. So I'm excited for you to start the next story with me. Pretty soon we'll be reading Amanda's story. But if you're interested in going back and rereading Dancing with the Royal, you can get your copy over on Amazon or wherever books are sold. Until next time, I'll see you. Have a great night.